I'm going to move ahead a few years down the line here to the late 1990s when another landmark moment for the Church of Scientology, the Lisa McPherson case. Can you just generally describe your role in handling that case for the Church?
Okay. My role in the Lisa McPherson case began, I guess, a little bit earlier than the Lisa McPherson case. I had left Scientology in late 93, November 93, right after we got the exemption, about a month after we'd gotten tax exemption, because it was something I sort of hung on and had been working on for 9-10 years and got, okay. Shortly after that, I had left. David Miscavige persuaded me to come back. I went off to the ship in the Caribbean that we have to do training and get auditing services, which I really hadn't had a lot of in the 10, 12 years I'd been in Scientology. When I was done with all that, I'd come back to the Flag Land Base in the summer of 95. And I was working for the RTC office at Flag under a woman named Angie, who was in charge of that office. And basically, she was David Miscavige's representative there. She was supposed to be handling all the technical quality aspects of the church there. I had expressed some criticisms about the way she was handling some of the technical matters, the way she was coaching people on their communication drills and on how they handled their metering. And shortly after that, Miscavige showed up to the base, and I guess he heard I'd been saying such things and told me, with no uncertain terms, that I'm not to be telling anybody anything. I'm just supposed to be doing what she tells me to do. You know, I was the guy that blew the organization 2 years earlier. I'm supposed to follow her lead. He doesn't want me anywhere near him or on his lines. He doesn't want me bossing anybody around. And so it was like, you know, it was pretty much keep your hands off of, you know, any involvement in any decision making. So I was working on a whole program to rehabilitate the Class 12 auditors at Flag, because there was a lot of complaints from parishioners about their services. And in the course of this, I was walking through the Hubbard Guidance Center of the Fort Harrison when all of a sudden, where it's a completely quiet area. Everybody knows that, has been in Scientology for any long. That whole huge floor, it's all connected by a common hallway, is a silent zone because people are having auditing sessions in each one of them. I was walking through that one day and a door kicked open and I heard this loud voice hollering in glee in the hallway. And I thought that was really odd, and I went and inquired about what was going on, and I went up to one of the Class 12s and I said, "What's happening here?" He said, "Oh, that's Lisa McPherson. She just attested to clear." So I just, even though I was told I wasn't supposed to, you know, say anything to Angie, I went down to talk to Angie. I said, "You know, you've got somebody up in the Hubbard Guidance Center who just attested to clear, who looks to me to be on the verge of psychosis." And she quickly reminded me that I'm not supposed to be having any say about anything and, you know, keep your mouth shut. She said, "That's Lisa McPherson." She says, "David Miscavige is CSing and programming her case, and I'm reporting on it weekly." Like, in other words, buzz off. To which I just went about my business and didn't think anything about it. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess about 6 weeks later, or several weeks later, you know, I hear that there's this incident where Lisa McPherson is had a psychotic break and is coming to the Fort Harrison. And I inquired about that, like, how could you have somebody come to the Fort Harrison? It was Angie or her direct junior, I think her name was Ricky, said, "Well, it's not a problem because COB, meaning David Miscavige, you know, has directed us on handling a Type 3 at the base just last May, because somebody went nuts in the middle of one of the events that he does down there."
What's a Type 3?
A Type 3 is a person who's had a psychotic break.
Okay.
Okay. And so a guy went Type 3 in the middle of an event, and he knew all about it, and we handled the whole thing right here on the base and reported the whole thing to him. So I said, okay. And don't, it's none of your business. I'm handling it. She'd already told me that she's been reporting on the case weekly to him. So I thought nothing of it. I guess 9 days later, or something like that, Janji now comes to me and says, hey, when you're doing a type 3 handling, what kind of sedative do you use if a sedative's required? Like, is Valium, or do you use something like that? I said, well, no, we usually, I've seen type 3 handlings or participated in them for 20 years, and everybody always used chloral hydrate because it's the most mild, least narcotic sedative, and it's very, very effective at getting somebody to sleep, and that's the whole purpose of it. And I had, that was the only back and forth I had during that matter of her there. But I thought it was really strange because we're 9 days into it. I said, you're telling me 9 days into it and you're looking for a sedative? Tom, this is what you need to understand. On a type 3 handling or a psychotic break handling, it's generally, you've heard this thing about the person's put into isolation, right? Okay. That whole thing lasts a day, maybe 2 max. Do you understand me? Mm-hmm. In other words, if it goes beyond a day or 2, there's something really weird going on. I've never seen it happen before. Well, subsequently, I learned they've got her in a room which is facing Osceola Avenue, and there's city buses going by. There's all this noise going on. There's a whole chain of wild events that were going on that just don't bear any resemblance to how you're supposed to do a type 3 handling. But I didn't know all that at the moment. It was only when I investigated it subsequently did I find that out. My point is, it's all hush-hush. This is my matter. This is something I'm reporting up lines, meaning to David Miscavige. Okay, so it's all her thing. So I'm supposed to go off and continue doing the things I'm doing around Flag at that time, which is inspecting course rooms, helping people with their communication drills and their meter drills, doing confessional auditing with the Class 12s, who were the highest level auditors down there, and all that sort of thing. One night, I'm back at the RTC office, and she's doing up her daily report that goes up to Miscavige. And usually I would come in and sort of verbally debrief on what I did during the day, and she'd integrate that into her report. We inspected this many course rooms, and we passed this many students, and we did this many confessionals, and these guys are coming around like this and that and that. Well, that evening, I couldn't do that because Angie was on the phone nonstop with other executives at Flag talking about McPherson because she'd been taken to the hospital. And I guess, so she wasn't even, accessible to me because she was nonstop on the phone. When it was all said and done, though, and they found out Lisa McPherson had died, she rushed out of the room and go ahead and meet with other executives on the base. So I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is that in my position, I was supposed to investigate the next day and find out what happened.